Hey again, it's Christina from Sunshine and Flora. So today I'm doing some more seed starting, but this is a little bit different seed starting than I normally do. Normally I'm starting seeds for my cut flower garden. If you are new to my channel, I grow cut flowers in Northwest Iowa in Zone 5A, and I sell them at local farmers markets and by special order and for special events. Today, all the seeds that I am starting are for my window boxes and planters. These are all types of annuals that I can plant in planters, landscaping, and my big window boxes out in front of my business. So this will be a really fun project. So since these were a little different, I just wanted to share with you guys what varieties I am planting and how you start these particular varieties of seeds. So before I get started, I just want to share with you first what I am planting. The first variety are some Impatens. My window boxes in front of my business happen to be covered by a canopy, so they are shaded most of the day. So I found that Impatens work really good there. So I have two different white varieties, and all of these seeds are either from Harris Seeds or Swallowtail Gardens. The first one is a Beacon White. These get 15 to 20 inches tall and 12 to 14 inches wide. So I'm thinking maybe these could be at the back of the window box for height, or they could go in a shade planter. The other variety I have is the Impatens Florific White, and these are a lot more compact. They're only 8 to 12 inches high and 12 to 14 inches wide. And to go along with the Impatens in my window box, I have some Coleus that I'm starting, which I'm really excited for. I ordered from both Harris Seeds and Swallowtail Gardens, and I didn't realize that I ordered the same kind from both of them. I ordered the Wizard Jade Coleus, but the one from Swallowtail Gardens says they are large ivory leaves, and the one from Harris Seeds I think is a variety because it says a mixture of coral sunrise, mosaic, pastel, pineapple, scarlet, sunset, and velvet red. So that makes me think there's a whole bunch of colors in this one. So I'm going to start some of both of these just to see what I end up with. Okay, then the next ones, which I don't even know where these are gonna go, are some geraniums. And I'm sure if you're watching my channel, you probably also watch Laura from Garden Answer. Well, she ordered some geraniums from Swallowtail Gardens, and poor Swallowtail Gardens, they probably got completely sold out of their geraniums after her video aired. But I restrained and ordered just two varieties. My mom also really likes geraniums, and so I thought maybe some of these could go to her. So I have the Maverick Scarlet and the Maverick Coral. These are both about 12 to 18 inches tall, and they have 4 to 6 inch size blooms. And then the rest of my seeds I'm starting are Petunias. I grew Petunias last year from seed for the first time, and they grew so good. So I got more varieties this year. Now my Petunias are going to go in full sun planters that are here in front of my business, and then also in my in-ground landscaping at home. So the more compact variety that I got is the Mambo White Petunia, and this only gets 6 to 8 inches tall, and it's a mounding petunia. So this will be good in like a small planter just for that mounded white accent of color. Then the rest of these are all big. So last year I planted these in my in-ground landscaping at home, and it just made like a carpet of blooms. I also did put some of these out front in my planters here, and they just trailed over the side. So I probably will do that as well this year. But I got 4 different colors. I got the Easy Wave White. I got the Easy Wave Yellow, the Easy Wave Blue, and the Shockwave Deep Purple. Now the Shockwave can get 30 to 36 inches wide. The Easy Wave says 30 to 40 inches wide. So basically they all get big. So the seed trays I'm using today are the Grow Ease seed starter trays from Gardener Supply, and I wanted to use these for these varieties because they're a little smaller. I use mostly 72 cell tray for all of my cut flowers, but I thought this would be easier to manage, and if I use 4 of these, this limits me to just under 100 plants, which if you're filling a huge area, 100 plants may not seem like a lot, but I'm going to restrain myself and just start 4 seed trays. I also love to go to different garden centers in the spring, and I fill my little greenhouse out there full of annuals that I have bought from different places. So I definitely will be doing that this year, but this is what I'm starting. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through and label everything and figure out how many of each variety I'm starting, and then I will show you how to start seeds from each one of these types of flowers. Okay, so I have everything divided out and I've decided how many cells of each plant I'm gonna start. So the first one I'm going to start are my geraniums. And I'm just gonna start 2 rows of these. So I have 4 cells of each, but I am gonna put 2 seeds per cell. So I could potentially get 8 geraniums of each color. Now geranium seeds, it says to barely cover. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of take my finger and put a couple of impressions right into the cell where I wanna put my seeds. So I'm gonna put 2 at kind of a diagonal. And then I'm gonna open the coral first. I'm gonna put 1 seed in each little indented spot that I just made. There supposedly is 10 seeds in here. So I'm gonna be using up only 8. So I'll have a couple left over if I decide to start some other random ones in pots, or I'll have a couple left over for next year. Some of you are probably thinking, well, why don't you just start all 10? I don't like to start more than I need because I don't like to waste plants. So this will be just fine. Oop, that one kind of got away from me. Actually, there were 11 seeds in there. So I'll have 3 saved if I want. Seeds do last from year to year, so if you do not use them up all right away, save them because they'll be fine. I have read that pelleted seeds don't last quite as long, but I mean, other seeds, some can last for a few years, even more. And those also had 11 seeds. So now it says to barely cover. So I have my seed starting mix right next to me here. I'm just gonna put a little bit in my hand and just barely cover the seed. I'm just dusting it with a little bit of soil, just enough so that I cannot see it. For these, I am using the Espoma Organic Seed Starting Mix. A couple of my other trays, I'm using the Burpee Organic Seed Starting Mix, just because that's what I had on hand. All right, these are barely covered. Now I'm gonna take my mister and just mist them in. And a couple of these are showing a little bit. So I'm just gonna put a little more soil over top of them, just so that I can't see the seed. All right, geranium's done. The next one I'm gonna do is my impatiens, and I have beacon impatiens in the rest of this tray. And this says to press into the soil and do not cover. So this will be really easy. So again, I'm gonna do 2 seeds per cell. There are 30 seeds in this pack. The geranium seeds were long and oblong. These impatient seeds are just tiny and round. Okay, I got them all. Set this off to the side. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my 2 little indentions again. I'm gonna put 1 seed in each little indention. These are tiny. And then I'm just gonna take my finger and kind of just press it into the soil, making sure I don't lift the seed up when I press it in. And I probably wouldn't have to press it in because I'm misting it, but this just kind of helps lock it in place too. All right, then I'm gonna mist these in. Okay, so the other impatiens are going to be exactly the same way. I'm gonna go ahead and get these sown. I'm doing a whole tray of these florific impatiens because I want as many of these as possible to go in my window boxes. I'm gonna sow these and then we'll move on to the coleus and petunias. Okay, so it's time to sow my coleus. Coleus also needs light to germinate, so this says just press into the soil and then we'll mist this in with water as well. I'm splitting this tray in half. I'm doing half of the Coleus that says it's all ivory, and I'm going to do half of the Coleus that says it's a mix, and I'm going to put 2 seeds per cell. These Coleus seeds look about as tiny as my Snapdragon seeds. Oh my gosh. I think I'm pretty much just gonna sprinkle them everywhere because I can't tell. Okay, so now I am on to my petunias. Petunias also need light to germinate, so these are going to be set right on top of the soil. And one of the nice things about these seeds that I ordered is they come in these little vials, which means they are pelleted. So they are much easier to handle. So I'm basically just gonna put 2 seeds per cell. I'm gonna drop 2 of the little pelleted balls in each cell, 1 in each corner. And that's it. That variety is done. Okay, so my petunias are all done. Now, last year with my petunias, I started them in this same size cell tray, and then once they put a little bit of growth on them and they were kind of spilling over these cells, I potted them up into 4-inch pots and put them under the grow lights and then eventually out my greenhouse. Once I potted them up like that, they just really put on growth and started branching out and even started blooming. So that's the plan this year. Once they get to a certain point, I'll be potting them up into 4-inch pots, which is the size that you buy when you go to a garden center and buy your petunias. So now all there is to do is to mist these in, and then I'm going to be putting all of these on my grow shelves, on a heat mat under my grow lights. And then that's pretty much it. I'll just wait to see things happen. Oh, I am gonna put humidity domes on the top. I forgot to mention that. I always put a humidity dome on top of all of my seed trays. So anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. I will make sure to definitely update you guys on how these do. I am so excited, and I hope that this takes care of a lot of the annuals that I will be planting in my window boxes and planters for this season. That would be super fun to say that I grew all of those from seed. And I mean, of course, I'll be buying some too, but it's just really fun to start your own. So anyway, stay tuned for a lot more coming up this spring. I'm just so excited for everything, so I'll make sure to keep you guys updated along the whole way. So we'll see you soon.